I'll say one thing for the Super Nintendo. It had a bucket load of awesome RPGs in the second half of its life, especially from master company Squaresoft. One of the last big games for the 16-bit machines was a co-production of Nintendo and Square. What an insane idea, to take the Mario universe, which had never really existed outside of platforming or kart racing, and create a fully fledged role-playing game. Who'd have ever thought that would work? Well, it did. Sadly, like so many other great RPGs, this one never got a PAL release. Many years later, I bought myself a brand new copy off eBay. Cost me a fortune, and then came to realise that it had a lockout chip so it wouldn't work with converters. So this was the game that forced me to buy my own American Super Nintendo. Glad I did, the game is great. The graphics are presented using 3D rendered sprites like in Donkey Kong Country. It doesn't look quite as accomplished as Rare's games, but it's still a nice colourful looking game. There's something about the choice of colours that sometimes seems a bit off to me though. I think it's the contrast. The bright colours are really bright and the dark colours are really dark. But generally it's nice enough looking. It's got lots of cute little details hidden all over the place. The story begins like any other Mario game with a princess rescue from Bowser's castle. Just as Mario is about to celebrate his success though, a gigantic sword falls from the sky and claims the castle in the name of a mysterious villain called Smithy. Who is this Smithy and why would he want to take over Bowser's castle? Mario's going to have to go on a big adventure to find out. Apart from being the first Mario game with, well, any kind of real story, this was I think the first Mario game to be self-aware. This game constantly references the fact that the Mushroom Kingdom is, well, kind of silly, and some of the things that the characters say are genuinely chuckle-worthy. Nothing is ever taken seriously. In Nintendo's grand tradition of silent protagonists, Mario himself never talks, but he still makes himself understood by miming out different stories. He does a pretty good job too. The other party members are, perhaps a bit unexpectedly, Princess Toadstool. She wasn't called Peach in the West yet, that would become official in Mario 64. And the princess has got a brutal bunch of moves such as Therapy and Group Hug. Tough as nails, that one. Another unexpected party member is Bowser. Yep, that's right, this time Mario and Bowser team up, though not altogether harmoniously. Sometimes Bowser even uses Mario as a weapon. Ouch. That's sure to cause some friction in the party. There's also two new characters who've never been seen since. First of all, there's Mallow, who is a frog. Well, he thinks he's a frog. He might have some part confronting to do. And there's also a wooden puppet named Gino. Cool characters, but I suppose they're probably copyright to Square, so Nintendo's never used them since. Meanwhile, there's lots of cameos and familiar faces to look out for throughout the quest. But there's one character obviously missing, and that's Mario's brother, Luigi. Where is he? I can tell you where he is, he's all through the manual, but he's nowhere to be found in the game. What's all that about? The battles, apart from their isometric 3D view, are very straightforward and follow most of the regular RPG rules. One thing that's a bit different is while special moves require MP, well, it's called FP in this game, it's flower points, get it? Mario and his comrades share the FP from a common pool, so when one character uses a special move, there's less flower points for everyone else, so you have to conserve where you can. The other thing that makes this system stand out, and something that's gone on to feature in all of the sequels, is the interactivity of the battles. It's not enough just to press attack and watch it all play out. Every move or dodge has something interactive where you have to push a button just at the right time to increase your offense or defense. It makes the battles much more interesting and keeps you constantly on your toes. There are some platformy bits, but platforming in isometric 3D isn't much fun. Just ask Sonic. Thankfully there's not too much of it. There's towns, there's dungeons, there's bosses, occasionally you get a minigame or two, but most of the game is regular role-playing with level ups and the whole shebang. All up, I'd say it's a bit on the easy side. There's nothing too complicated or difficult here. I totally get that this is RPG light for the less experienced gamer, and that's great. It'd be an excellent way for a kid to break into the role-playing genre. But if they were trying to pull in the masses, surely they could have thought of a more mainstream title? Like Super Mario Adventure or Super Mario Story? I'm pretty sure the clueless parents looking for a Christmas present for little Johnny wouldn't have a clue what an RPG is. Anyway. The series has since branched off onto two different paths, the Paper Mario series and the Mario and Luigi series, although Square hasn't been involved at all since the first game. Look, it's not a classic in the Final Fantasy or Chrono sense, but Mario RPG is a game that never forgets that it's meant to be fun. It's silly, it's goofy, but it's always completely enjoyable. Thus, it stands. We're almost done. Next week we'll say goodbye to the Blue Bomber and the Kong family in their third game of each series. Peace out.